Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
What a lovely morning it is, too. I've got some real questions about my work, but I need to give you a context.
Yep.
And a history of, historical context of what we do. And I'm actually genuinely, authentically a bit confused. And there's something missing in the work that I do. Well, the work that I do is I coach people. I coach people who work in businesses, have their own businesses or work in very large companies. But the key is none of them are native speakers of English. So they're French, Italians, Germans, Russians, Ukrainians, this sort of thing. And they come to me where I work in Canterbury, and they come to learn English. Now, traditionally, learning English, or today, learning English, if you come to England, people don't want to pay a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay. The usual price is like £400 a week, all in, and you get a week's English course. Now, our price is £2,000 a week because we do coaching, because we focus on. We say three things. Anything is possible for you personally, for your English, and for your life.
Yep.
Whereas when people go on normal English courses, they sit in a classroom with a grammar book, they get a text, they have to find the right word, like you did at school with French, okay? But what we're about is anything is possible for you personally, and that means your relationship to your English, your relationship to your skills, your job. And also it means for your English, which means how clear are you, how much do you understand, how much can you understand when people listen, how much do you know? And your life means how you communicate with other people and use the English that you've got. So we really focus on these three big areas.
Yeah.
Now, my problem is that most people and most companies that look at us think of us as a traditional English language training company, and where they're going to come and just get lessons, where they sit down, they get a test at the beginning, they sit down, they've got lessons, and we're going to give them information, and they're going to remember that information, and that's it. And often people don't look at us, I don't know, because they go £2,000 to learn English. I can get English at €5 an hour in my town online with somebody on Skype. Why would I pay £2,000? And that's my challenge. I'm not stuck, it's my challenge.
Yes.
And you're the sort of person who listens so well, can help.
Yes.
So I'll put it over to you. I won't say any more than that and give a context and see where we go.
Okay. So do the people who have been on your course, I assume they agree that it is worth the £2,000 once they have completed the course?
Yes.
Or once they get started?
Yes, and our feedback statistics show that, and we're part of a bigger group, and other schools have feedback statistics that don't even come anywhere near us, because we do your English and your life, not just your English.
Yeah.
Okay,
so you do provide that value.
Yes.
But it sounds like you're just not communicating or giving people the understanding that that's what they're going to be getting beforehand.
Yes. And I think part of me is a bit scared about communicating that completely and fully and utterly, because I've got this idea it might put people off.
Okay.
Because if I've got to look at myself, how many of us really like to go, I've got this problem. Oh, it's that thing's fault.
Yeah.
That's our default. And I know that's, as opposed to, well, maybe I should look here.
Yeah. But
so people got a problem with their English. They tend to say, it's because I have enough lessons, I don't know enough words, my grammar's, don't understand enough grammar, instead of saying, well, who am I being that I don't understand it? Anyway.
Yeah. But when they arrive on day one, that's what they get.
They look at themselves from day one in a very safe, nurturing, supportive environment, because the role of a coach is to bring out the absolute best in the person sitting in front of you.
So you're worried that they will be put off by that,
or could be,
but that's what they do get.
Yes.
So you're kind of convincing them in with one thing, but actually they get something else. To the benefit of them.
Yes, we do communicate. I reckon we communicate that message of what they actually get to a level of 20-30%, because currently we have videos. I've done videos on our website which talk about those things, but most people who come, 80-90%, say, oh, I never looked at your website. I came through one of your partners in France who sent me and suggested this would be the best, but I haven't looked at what's going to go on, because I just assumed it would be just like every other lesson I've had in my life.
Okay, so let's look at the impact though of them not knowing or not being fully present to what they will actually get. And it sounds like it's a little bit like you're saying to someone, okay, well, you can have this bog standard piece of cake. It's just, a normal Victoria sponge. But when they arrive, they get this amazing gâteau that they are like, wow, this is so much better. But maybe you're concerned that they're on a diet, so they might not want that amazing gâteau. Yeah. But what happens if they were to know how much was available for them by signing up or coming along to Pilgrims? What would they? What would be the different experience when they were there, if they knew what they were getting in advance?
I guess they'd jump in, but I don't jump in quicker.
Yeah.
As opposed to, they often say on the second, third day, it was a real shock on Monday morning that we had all these conversations about the context and about learning and about life and those sorts of things. So I don't know what the people who've said to me, the 10% who do look at the videos and really look at what we do, they say to me, I chose you because of what you said on the video. But 90% don't.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know the result, how people would be different on Monday. But the people who've looked seem to be more up for it.
Okay. And do they get more generally? Because they have, from Monday, this is what I'm ready for, rather than maybe having that warm-up period.
They might do. I've not measured that. I've not checked it. I get a sense that they get a little bit more.
Yeah.
But the people who don't really know what they're coming into seem to get it anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't think it impacts the results that people get. But I think it's before they come that is where my challenge is.
Yeah.
That's where my challenge is. How to communicate that and what actions I could take differently.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'm interested in because you said you're holding back from maybe fully expressing how amazing what they're going to get is.
Yeah.
Because it might put them off. So would you say it's clear that you could communicate that, but you're concerned that what's maybe blocking stuff is the concern that they won't get it? They won't come because they don't get it.
They might not come because they might not get it. They might not come because they might be afraid of looking in slightly, looking at themselves as well as their life and their communication and their English. They might not come because they're a bit scared that's not what they want. And they might not get it because sometimes people, I can be resistant to stuff that I might be a bit concerned about.
Yeah.
Anything I'm not concerned about, I'm not going to be resistant to. That's a distinction. That's quite nice.
Yeah.
That's come out of my mouth. But if I'm frightened of something here, I might resist what's there in order not to reveal what's here.
Yeah.
And a typical thing is when I coach people out on Monday morning, I ask them, how much do you like English? And they say, 9 out of 10. How much do you like England and the culture? And they go, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. Oh, that's cool. And then I say, how much do you like your English? And they go, 2. And there's a huge internal relationship block, resistance. Anyway, so I have concerns that I could put people off, I think.
Okay.
But something's coming up for me in this conversation.
Okay. Anything there to share yet? Or?
Yeah. What I'm not sharing, and it's really clear, it's just come up as a result of this, is that I don't communicate. I communicate what we do, and where our focus is, but I don't communicate all the possibilities that are possible. Mm-hmm. That's what's missing. Because if I say, look, okay, let's look at all the things that could be possible for you, your English and your life, your mm-hmm. work, rather than you're going to do this or do that, so that there is a choice of what's possible. Mm-hmm. And show that choice and those possibilities are available in each moment throughout the week. I have never communicated that. That's come up for me. The Good. Absolute, we're not about fixing you, changing you, and I say to them, you're not going to be perfect after a week. Mm-hmm. How long does it take to learn your own language and be able to spell every letter and understand every concept on telly? We need to be 18, 20 years old. There's still stuff now I listen to. I think, I don't get that. I understand the language, but I don't get the concept of it. But we don't communicate I don't communicate that we live in a context of possibility. Mm-hmm. And that's very clear for me right now. Good.
Okay. And how could you communicate that? Or what would be exciting? What would be a possibility for you in terms of communicating that through your marketing, through this getting them there on day one on a Monday? Mm-hmm. That they can get some of that before they arrive. Is there anything that's possible for you in terms of how you could get that through?
Well, we've just developed the app, and you've kindly been a resource to create the app for us. That is the perfect place to get the possibilities mm-hmm. across. And I think it comes down, and it doesn't, there are so many media streams that we can go through, mm-hmm. like LinkedIn, because we haven't done that before. Much more on Facebook with our app that people can now download mm-hmm. once we get the iTunes one, hopefully this week coming. Excuse me. What I need to do is every communication has to start from what's possible, and a possibility that I've created for somebody or I see is possible because somebody has already achieved that. And to share the possibilities through any media rather than the predictabilities of... Because if I say to you, you want to go and learn French, you'll immediately think, in France, you'll mm-hmm. immediately go back to, I learned French in school, it's going to be exactly the same. Yeah. Your mind can only base it on the experience you've already had. Your mind doesn't necessarily create anything new for itself because information comes from the outside and then we assess it and all the rest of it. So, if you were to go to France, or anybody say, I want to learn French, I'll go to France to do it, mm-hmm. They would think that they're going to go and get a piece of paper and give them a test and a level and all the rest of it. So we need to show what's predictable, but not what's the predictable, but what's possible. With real case studies, with real people sharing, not trying to convince, because I hate trying to convince. Do you know the etymology of convince?
No.
Oh, it's wonderful. It comes from Latin and it's convincere. Mm-hmm. Vincere, do you know the song? Vincero, Nessun Dorma?
Okay, yeah.
Vincere means to win.
Okay.
So when you convince somebody of something, it means that somebody wins with winning, which also means unspokenly that somebody loses.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
Yeah.
In today's world, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so to share what's possible and for people to make clear choices.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
So
good stuff.
That's and the possibility that we are, because we say we are the space where anything is possible for you, your English, and your life. Mm-hmm. We just don't communicate that to companies and HR managers either.
Yeah.
And interestingly, you were speaking about LinkedIn earlier. I'm sure there must be something way that LinkedIn can help us contact associations of HR.
Yeah.
In Europe.
Yeah.
Because that's where we target.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because you're not only offering up the possibility of what they can get from you guys, but the possibility for them in any areas, right?
Yeah.
Which includes that their team may be able to take on new possibilities.
Yeah.
So.
And something's just occurred for me in the space of the possibility is we're not clear on the problems we solve. Mm-hmm. We really are not clear on... People come every week with this problem, and it's the same problem every week. And over the years, over the last 5 years, 700 people have been to us, and virtually everybody has the same problem. But we don't communicate that that's the problem that we can solve with people. And not only solve, but clear so that it doesn't come back. And that has a lot of value.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem people have is they say, oh, I go to meetings in English or conference calls, but I never dare to say anything. I just sit there, and if I don't understand, I don't ask.
Yeah.
And I know that is a problem we solve, where people say they get a whole new relationship with their English, and they go, well, I'll just ask.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if I don't understand something, it doesn't mean I'm a bad speaker and I'm a bad person. It just means I don't understand.
Yeah.
And we can get people to that really quickly. Anyway.
Is there any way you could take that,
what
they get there, and apply it to your own challenge that we're talking about here, in terms of how that can go out? So you said they don't ask, if they don't understand, they don't ask the question.
Yeah.
So if your question at the start was, how do we kind of, people don't get the why we're so much more expensive, the value of what we have to offer. But have you asked them the question? If we're saying that that's what you give other people, the ability to go, I'm just going to ask the question. Is there anything that... Because I always like that when there's parallels between what your customers' problems are and what your challenges are, or the things that you could be doing more. Okay, are there areas where you could be asking the customer to be able to speak up and say, right, this is a question I'd like to ask? Because,
is there anything I can do in my coaching with them?
No, more in your marketing, in the pre-bit. If their problem is they can't ask.
Yeah. I've got a really clear... we focus on... there are two realms of learning. There's informative learning and transformative learning. And we focus on both. Informative, because the result of informative learning is knowledge, and the result of transformative learning is power and freedom. And the problem in not speaking up in the meetings is there is no power and freedom.
Yeah.
But they come to us saying, I can't speak in meetings because I don't have enough grammar and vocabulary, which is the knowledge. And we go, you do.
Yeah.
And that's why we focus on transformative learning. And then once that's transformed, the informative learning happens faster.
Yeah.
So there is something we can communicate, and that is informative versus transformative learning.
Yeah.
To help people see the value and the different results of the two things, knowledge or freedom and power.
Yeah. Is there anything in addition to that?
Yeah.
Because that is you also communicating the content of what they can get in that. But can you also apply the way of being that comes as a result of that?
Being free and powerful.
Yeah. Being free and powerful in how you guys can ask a question to your audience. So you're not only communicating what they get, but the way you're communicating it is in the same way that they will be able to. The freedom to be able to ask and be able to interrupt and stop and go, I'm sorry, can you just repeat that? Or do you mean this?
Yeah.
Is there any way that you can see, or any possibility for that way of being to come into your marketing, as opposed to just communicating the content of what that gives you?
Freedom and power can come into our marketing, in our being. Yeah. Absolutely. Freedom and power to be possibilities, and to solve problems, and to expand beyond problems.
Yeah. And the way that would show up for them would be, you said in meetings, stop, ask the question, and kind of, it's okay to interrupt.
Yeah.
I think we're told don't interrupt.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's good because it stops it going down a route that ultimately might not kind of, if people are not understanding and with you on the journey. So that's maybe a question for you. Do you worry about, in marketing and in terms of communicating that message, interrupting people's daily patterns and things they're going on? They're going about their business, they're a HR manager, whatever they are, they're doing what they're doing, and you're worrying about, can I just stop you there? Can I offer a suggestion, or can I ask something that provides an opportunity for both you and for them?
Yeah. You having mentioned it right now, there is a background of, HR managers never respond. They're always too busy. They always complain they're too busy. Do we really have something that can, my own doubts come up in that. So, and there is that. But having said that right now, it's just a case of saying, look, we speak possibility into the world. And we know your people are suffering.
Yeah. And that sort of interruption, it's a bit like if someone, in a meeting, no one wants to be, on the surface of it, no one wants to be interrupted.
Yeah.
However, if someone they would definitely want someone to interrupt and say, I'm sorry, your microphone's not working, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Or, I'm sorry, but can you just clarify? Because otherwise, like you said, stop listening because they don't follow it. And I think that's maybe the opportunity, and for a lot of people in any sector, is they don't like to be a nuisance or be a pain in their marketing. But if you're interrupting a person might be initially a bit put back, but you're actually offering an opportunity to help them identify, right, we're not understanding you, or we've seen something that you're not seeing. We can offer you that solution for you to be better at whatever your possibility is.
And the distinction that we can interrupt with is, you may be spending €5, €10, €20 an hour on informative learning, but you're never going to get there.
Yeah.
If it's based on a background, a context of no power and no freedom of self-expression. And yeah, that's very clear for me.
Good.
Thank you.
Good.
Very good.
Can I ask you one? I wanted to go back onto another question, onto this idea of not kind of go back where we were, but just to really get for you to get the impact of not communicating everything that they get, all the value that they get. How do you feel when, or in past situations where someone's got an amazing offer for you, something they can provide you, but you're not ready, you don't want it? For example, if someone say, you know what, I can change your life when in terms of health and fitness, right, this is the gym program you want, this is how you eat healthy. They're kind of going, right, we're going to the gym right now. And you're going, hang on a minute. I get ready. That it's really great, but you're not ready. What's the impact for you of that, of suddenly being engaged with something that might be a bit full on for whether you're ready for it or not?
The impact for me personally, if we take the example of the gym, for example. What would be the impact? It would be, I feel a bit of pressure. I would need to be strong to say, you know what, I'm not ready. And I might feel a bit bad about saying no. But I would know where I can get results that I want, or through, say, you or somebody offering that advice, support, coaching, whatever. I suppose it's not wanting to say no, but not being ready. I kind of need some help to be ready. It's very easy for me. It would be very easy for me to resist something I'm not ready for. How would I get ready for it? I suppose by really getting inside what could really be possible for me. But I'd have to look at myself as to why I'm resisting. As opposed to, no, I never want to go there.
But you said, I quite liked what you said there about I'd need help to be ready. And I just wanted to kind of shed some light on that, in terms of by only giving people maybe, like you said, 10-20% of everything that's available, and kind of allowing them that remaining 80% to think that they're getting the normal thing that they're ready for, because that's what they've had all their life. And suddenly you're giving them something else. Is there I don't mean this in a negative way, but kind of to just get straight to it, could it be a bit kind of manipulative in the sense of, right, we're going to get them in, making them think it's what they know, but actually we're going to give them more. And we know they're going to benefit from it, but you know what? If they're not ready for it, do you want them to be ready for it or not? Because if you can have them provide all that value, then they are free to choose whether they're ready for it or not, rather than maybe kind of selling them in on what they think it is. Like, yes, you get more sales, but is the results going to be as good as they can be if they're not ready for it?
That's true. Yeah. Certainly, we had a lady from Spain who was sent. She was actually a secretary in an English language school in Spain, run by a Spanish woman and her son.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to be with us. And she also only wanted exactly what they did in Spain, because that was the safe thing with a book, even though she didn't enjoy it doing it in Spain. And she was sent to us. And it was like talking to a brick wall all week.
Yeah.
So in terms of what you're saying, you know, I think the clarity of the possibility, you know, rather than saying, oh, well, you know, for your English, this is how we can approach it. These are the possibilities.
Yeah.
For you, this is also what's possible. For your life, in terms of, because we don't, the reason I say our life, because we don't live in isolation. So I have a relationship and a communication with you, with my partner, with the world, with somebody in a shop. That's part of my life. I think we need to be much more out there.
Yeah.
Fully.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And providing it, I guess, to those people that are ready to kind of take on board the huge amount you have to offer, as opposed to maybe those people that aren't. And I totally get that, like you said, the way you are and creating a safe space means that they do get it.
Yeah, it's because of the context we create. Yeah.
But isn't it far bigger and better to give it to those people that do want it?
Yeah.
And because they will get more, because they're on it from day one, or even before day one. They're already starting to explore their possibility and what they want and what they can get from it. So they will get even more.
Yeah.
You provide loads of value anyway, but what if people spent, 2 weeks, 2 months, however long they prep before they come, kind of toying with those ideas already? There's so much more, as opposed to having to spend that first day.
Yeah, and how could we have people not prep but experience and get prep themselves for something more? Is that something we could do through the app? It is, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd say...
Coming to Pilgrims?
Yeah.
Here's some stuff you might want to know. Press that button on the app.
Yeah. And even some questions to get them thinking. So I'd say, what are some of the things you'll do at that early stage? Or what will be some of the things when people are in that, who maybe are a little bit more resistant at the early stage? What are some of the things you do to give them the space during the time to be a bit more open, to be free, to realise, oh yeah, this is a safe space to explore that. What would you do then? And is there ways you can give people a little taster of that ahead of time?
Yeah. One of the key messages would be, there's nothing wrong with you and there's nothing wrong with your English, and you just can't fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when we're in a learning situation all through our lives, all we focused on is right, wrong, fail, succeed.
Yeah.
Who's the best? Whereas the way we work is, there's nothing wrong and you just can't fail.
Yeah.
And we could give them a taste of that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Because that would go, I think that could impact people in terms of, I've never heard that before. Because I've always considered I'm a failure with my English.
Yeah.
And you imagine these people who come to us, they have to do business for their huge companies, and they might be a marketing director, or they might be in sales or operations manager of a plant or something like that. They have to have all these meetings and conversations and emails and correspondence all in another language. Can you imagine you and I going to work in French?
Yeah, having to have this conversation in French.
Well, these are the sorts of conversations we can have with people who have what we call young English, as opposed to bad English.
Yeah.
And And it's always amazing. People always inspire me how much they can actually achieve when they think they can't.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a question to ask them, maybe. What would be beyond something you ever saw as possible? Crazy 10-year dream. Well, what if it was possible shorter?
This week.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Cool.
If you're putting it out there, it's a bit like... they use the analogy of like a roller coaster, how they did tests, didn't they, about kind of the amount of adrenaline, how much you enjoy a roller coaster if you see the ride going around and you're standing in the queue for half an hour waiting for it, versus if I think they did it where people were in a dark room and didn't see the ride, they didn't get as much from it, the ride, because they didn't have that build-up and anticipation. And by going 100%, or making that the possibility of 100% people get totally what they're going to get from this ahead of time, they're already in that space when they rock up. A bit like the same with kind of Landmark, the course, that when you sign on that line, right, yes, I'm going to attend that course, your already stuff starts to shift and show up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you're present to why you're doing it and what you want to get from it, the stuff comes before anything, because your intention is on getting that result.
It's in the anticipation. It's because the moment you sign up for something, the future's coming at you, and the anticipation of it, and the excitement, or however, whatever. And it's nice you said about the roller coaster, because Winnie the Pooh, who was a bear of little brain, he was asked once, Winnie, you love honey. What's the best bit about honey? And Winnie didn't have much brain, so he had to think. He thunked about it for a while, and he said, it's the bit just before I eat it. Which is just like a roller coaster. Yeah. That's so nice.
Yeah. And the possibilities that you're marketing.
Yeah.
And the work you do before people arrive.
Let's call it Winnie the Pooh marketing.
Yeah.
Or roller coaster
marketing. In the queue of the roller coaster marketing.
In the queue of the roller coaster marketing, there's a new phenomena.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Good stuff.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
I feel complete with that.
Good.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.